Okay, I think we are live. Microphone is on, music is on, and I just need to check the stream. Okay, yeah. It seems like it. Okay, yeah, I think we're live. Boom. Okay, so yesterday, for those of you that didn't see, I pretty much I started making a new project, which is this one. Let me show you the repo. Let's see if I can find it here. There it is. Okay, so this is like a unit test library written in C, similar to JUnit, which is again another is it not like a, anyways, this is a unit test library for Java, very famous one. I think it's like the most famous one. And so I used this a couple of months ago on a project that I had to do in uni, and I honestly liked it. I thought it was simple, I thought it was pretty straightforward, and so I just had the question, like, you know, how hard can this be to make something like this in C? And so that's where this comes from. You know, I just started doing it. Let me do something. I think I'm gonna stop recording, because this is streaming and recording at the same time, but since the bot is gonna be uploading into YouTube, I don't need to, you know, care about that. Okay, so let me move this tab into this monitor so I can look at the chat. Let me move this in here. Okay, there we go. So yesterday on the stream, I first kind of took a look at JUnit itself, and then I also took a look at CUnit, which is god damn it, which is a very similar well, it's very similar. Okay, they're calling me, hold on. Yo, I am so sorry, my dad called. He wanted me to check something out. Okay, I'm back. So I do wanna, so yeah, basically I was checking him, and good day to you. Yo, what's up, Ahmed? I just noticed that monitor is huge. I mean, it probably has it's probably the, I mean, the perspective itself. This the webcam is literally right on top of the monitor, so that's maybe why it looks so big. The monitor is a I don't know which one it is, honestly. Maybe this one, for example. I don't think it's quite this one. I don't think it's this big though. But anyways, yeah, this is kind of like the way of the monitor. Okay, how about you, Ahmed? How has been your day so far? Anyways, not relevant. definitely looks like 5 feet wide on camera. Does it? I mean, yeah, now that I'm looking at it, it does look pretty damn big on camera. But I think it's also because, you know what I said, the webcam is literally right on top of the monitor, you know. Maybe I can do something like that. Nah. I'm just gonna keep it like this. Fuck it. Okay. Let me do something. Got my semester exams in a few days. Just kind of burnt out. Your videos motivate me to push myself. Not gonna lie. You have your semester exams in July? Bro, what? I took mine on May. 2 months ago. I took mine. And then I had, I failed one of those. And then I had to retake it again in late June. And now I'm on holidays. Like, what the hell? When are you done? Like, when are you gonna be on holidays? That's crazy, bro. In July? What the fuck? Yeah, we're pretty late because there are way too many public holidays. Well, I mean, do you think that's good or not? Okay. Wait, what the actual fuck just happened here? What? If it's different, okay. I'm a bit of a dumbass. Okay, let's do it like this and then like this. Okay. Boom. Okay, now failed. What do you say? Failed. I mean, it is failed, yes. So it's not equals, then yeah, it is failed. Okay. I was confused for a little bit. Boom. What I have to say in here? Fixed. Whoops. Fix a typo. Typo. Is this how you spell typo? Typo. Yep. Okay. Fix a typo from assert not equals. Alright. Origin main. I was trying to get the contributions. Hey, I mean, who knows if, I don't know, like my computer like completely crashes out and then I just lose everything, right? I have to push. You know, I don't want to risk it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to risk losing all my progress. Huge progress on that commit, by the way. Anyways, AC update. Okay, so yay, unit functions. What functions do you have, buddy? or what functions should I implement? Yeah, I don't care about this. I might do this later. Definitions, test classes. This is not what I'm looking for. Assertions. Okay, this might be it. Is there like a way for me to do this? Assert equals by zero exception get message. Don't know about that. What's your opinion on the job market situation? Do you think it's too saturated, and will it impact graduates? And what's your stance on vibe coding? Wow, great question. My opinion on the market, definitely fucked. Not gonna lie. When I first got into uni, which I think it was 2022, it was way better. Not gonna lie, it was one of the reasons why I got into computer science. And then, yeah, the market right now, at least in Spain, and I think pretty much everywhere else, it's not the best. I think it also depends on the industry. You know, if you're like looking for web development, I think that is like the most saturated market. But I think there are others, like maybe, I don't know, OS development or, you know, embedded systems programming, that I think are not as badly affected as you know, web dev. That said, there's still jobs coming up every year. There's still new opportunities, and so I don't think you should give up just because you see that, you know, things are getting a little bit harder. You know, a lot of people are gonna give up just because of that same reason. So, you know, it could also be a good thing that in the future, like maybe, I don't know, 5 years from now, a lot of people will have give up on programming. So, you know, maybe programmers are more necessary. I don't know if I explain myself, but yeah. And then will it impact the graduates? I mean, I think of course it will, because companies are looking for people with experience, but that are still junior, so, you know, they don't have to pay as much. So it's definitely tough to get yourself out there as a graduate. But I think if you, on your free time, you know, do projects and do things on your own, then you can stand out from the rest. And then, what's your stance on vibe coding? I mean, it depends. I feel like it's just propaganda. They hyped it up so they can employ more skills for less. I mean, it might be. You know, during COVID, like, that was crazy. You know, they were paying 6 figures for people with almost no experience. So, you know, when you see those kinds of things, you want to get into it, you know. But then, of course, as things kind of calm down, then it all kind of went to normal. And then vibe coding, it depends for what kind of programming. Like, for example, in here, where I'm, you know, programming for to learn and to like get skills, I'm not really a big fan of it. You know, maybe if I have like some question that I cannot find on Stack Overflow or stuff like that, then maybe I will ask ChatGPT. But I don't like to you know, do, or to let the AI do all the work. But if it's like a uni project, for example, that I just don't want to do at all, like for example, we had to do like a mobile app on C#, and I just like was not really. I was not going to spend all the time learning the language. I mean, I knew C# before, but it was like with a framework, so, you know, I wasn't going to spend all the time learning the new framework, learning the new technology, and learning all this kind of stuff just for the project or something that I'm going to do once and then forget about it. So, you know, and even the teacher told us, like, hey, it's completely fine if you use ChatGPT and all that kind of stuff, you know. So it was like, I'm just going to use it, get over it, and then that's it. But yeah, I don't think it's good, especially as as a beginner, I don't think it's good for you, because you don't get to learn as much as you fighting against the code and trying to come up with the solutions yourself. My teachers don't give a shit about AI code anymore as long as you know what's happening, and most people don't know. I mean, my teachers do give a shit. Well, some cases, most of them. Like I just said, there was this teacher in particular who, didn't care, but most of them do. I think it's important. Because we're still learning, and I think we have to go through that struggle to fight with the code and program the code ourselves. But I think it's also very hard to learn as much. This is way too loud. To learn as much from the code that the AI gives you than from the code that you've done yourself, or you've looked up in Stack Overflow. I think if you do that, you should also tell the AI to explain the code that it has given you, so that not only you get the correct code, but you also get to understand why and how the AI came up with that solution. I mean, it's good for us, but I think more and more devs are using AI, and will as AI gets more trained. To be honest, I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen with AI, right? Like, nobody knows if we're reaching the limit of AI, if we're not, if it's going to be over soon. I think there's a bit of AI bubble right now. Microsoft fires so many employees. Yeah, I saw that. That's kind of crazy, but I think the reason to do that is to make the investors happy. That's literally all it is. Like I said, I think there's a big AI bubble, where if you just launch any product and say it has AI incorporated, then it's just gonna go crazy with investors, and so they're just gonna throw a lot of money to you and you're gonna get rich. But I think people will, or at least companies will start to realize that AI is not that important, and that AI is not that useful. I mean, it is useful, but not as much as people think it is. And I think the more you rely on AI now, the more problems you're gonna have in the future, because AI sure knows how to program, sure knows how to come up with solutions, but I think there's way more to that than in software engineering or programming in general. I think you need so many other skills, apart from the fact that who would want to work in an AI company, like where your teammates or your workmates are AIs. Like that would be so depressing. So hopefully, maybe a couple of years time, people will realize that AI is not that important and it's not that useful, and that we should prioritize. I don't know how to say it, but we should give humans more importance than AI. Anyways, let's see if I can find what I want to find, which I'm not really able to do. I don't know what that is. Well said. But like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe AI will, take over the planet. I don't know. Maybe AI turns out to be the coolest shit, but I think we as programmers have an advantage, which is that we can learn about AI, and we can, use these skills to program AIs and all that kind of stuff, which, you know, might save us from unemployment in the future. Assert timeout, duration of millis, Fibonacci calculator. What the fuck is this? So can you just give me a freaking assumptions? Assume true. Is there any way I can get like the entire list of assertions? Like, that's just what I want. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Assert equals, okay, assert true. I guess I do have to implement this as well. Assert all. In a grouped assertions, all assertions are executed and all failures will be reported together. Okay. I don't know about this. Assert not null. Okay. So this one should be simple enough. Whoa. What the hell just happened? Wait, did I just... Yeah. I don't know what happened there. Okay. Then I'm going to say assert equals, I'm just going to say true. So the expected to be a boolean in this case. Bool, and then this should be a bool expected. Expected. Okay. And then bool actual. Okay. And then I can just go and say define assert true. Is it assert true? Assert true, yes. Assert true with an expected and an actual. Then I can just say, whoa. Okay. And then assert equals true with a, yeah, okay. So expected and actual. And then this, okay. Current storage location. Okay, so now I should have something like, I need to implement this actually. So I guess if actual equals expected. Well, I mean, this is I don't need anything here, right? Like if I have to, you know, assert that this is true, then I just have to compare to true. That's all I have to do, right? So I guess I won't need it. I won't need a expected because I already know what it is, which is true. So yeah. Okay. So I guess I can say if actual. Then I can say printf printf, let me just put this here. Boom. Assert equals true past. What is a boolean? I mean, I guess, you know, this whatever. Well, it doesn't throw out an error here, so I guess I can say is true. Okay, that's what I thought. Else, then I put the same thing. Failed. Well, I guess in here I could say equals true, and then true. And then I could do something like assert. Well, this is assert true. Okay, assert true with not expected. What the hell am I doing here? Assert equals true. Well, this would be more of assert true itself. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so assert true, and then this will be assert true. Okay. And this does not in unexpected, like I said. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so assert true. Now it has to be. Okay, so what if I put in here bool test equals true. Test. Right, that's what I have to say. Undefined reference to assert true. What are you talking about? Oh yeah. There we go. Boom. Assert equals true past 1 equals true. Can you not print out the expression? That would be good. Okay. I don't know, 2 is bigger than 4, for example. This should fail, yes. And then if 2 is, sorry, less than 4, okay. I don't know why there's a new line there. Probably because of this. There we go. Okay. So then I should do something similar to this, which is assert false. Boom, and then I could just go in here and say this, boom, assert false, and then this is false. Okay. So then I can just go in here and say this, 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 this. Okay, so if this is false, then if true, well actually, boom, okay, passed, this should be passed, and then this is false, which I do have to fix, and then this is false, sorry. And then you put on a new test. which is assert true. This is gonna be assert false. Okay, and then this should. Okay, and then this is false. Okay, because it's not false. All right. Okay, that makes sense. And then assert not no. Well, let's do it. Boom, boom. Assert not no. But what do I have to get in here? Damn. It can be anything. It really can be anything. Can it be I don't know, a string, an object? I mean, not an object, a struct. What can it be? What the hell? Okay, I can get rid of all this, by the way. Boom. Right, nobody's gonna complain about that. Great. And then const char expression. So this is technically what I have to put in here. Right. Let me put this in here. So assert not null. This should be an expression then. Bool expression. Okay. So I have an expression there, and then I can have, okay, so I could have something like, let me put this in here, actually, equals int, boom, there we go, not equals int, boom, okay, this was not supposed to be there, whoops. Then assert false. Okay, that looks better now. So now I guess I do have to define, so this would be expression, I guess. And now I guess I have to define a assert. No, with that expression, right? Expression. And then this would be assert not no with that expression, and then this with current source location. Okay, so technically it doesn't matter if I put a semicolon there. Okay, good to know. customers now. Good. And then I have to go in here and say this. Damn. Okay, so maybe this has to be a const char expression, right? Maybe that's what it has to be. Const char expression. Okay, so maybe I can say, and this is not assert equals true, this is assert true. Oh, and not even that, it's assert false actually. Didn't even change that. My new project idea is making something that saves the last videos that appeared before YouTube refreshes accidentally. I don't know if it's possible, but I'm tired of losing stuff from my feed. Maybe it is possible actually. You know, whenever, maybe you can do a Chrome extension, maybe. It is a really good idea, honestly. I would use it because I always lose really good videos that I want to watch because the pages refresh. Do you know what you're going to be using for that project? Like in terms of technology? It would be legendary. It would be legendary. Like, it would be mega viral. Okay, so this assert not no past is not no with the expression. Boom. No idea, it just came to mind today. That's good. Maybe what you can do is, if you don't have any idea what to do, then ChatGPT would be a good place to, you know what to use and stuff like that. You know, maybe it can give you an idea on how to structure the project or to do something like that. Maybe I could do something with the cache. I don't know. Maybe. Like I have no idea how that works. Maybe, I don't know, whenever a new YouTube page loads, you can make a request to it to gonna get the same videos that you got requested. I don't know. Yo, I want to start learning programming. What language would recommend as a beginner, if any? Yo, Joesi, I don't know if that's how you say your name. Thanks for stopping by. What language to learn? So you have no idea about programming, like you know nothing about programming, right? Like zero, absolute nothing. My personal recommendation would be to learn C. A lot of people will tell you that you should not learn C because it's very hard and you have to, you know, manage your memory in a manual way, and it's very complicated, and you know it causes a lot of crashes and all that kind of stuff. But I think if you start with this language, you don't only learn how to program. I'm used to study electrical engineer. We use MATLAB. Okay, that's good. Well, if you know MATLAB already, then I guess I should recommend Python, which is going to be more familiar to you. It has a very similar style of programming. It is also used for a lot of maths and data analysis and all that kind of stuff. So I'd say, depending on you know, considering that you know MATLAB already, this would be probably the best. I'm surprised in electrical engineering you don't see C or anything like that. Like you don't program any like little motherboard or microcontroller or anything like that. Just MATLAB. crazy. That's crazy. Okay. And then I can say assert not null fail. Assert is null. Okay. But yeah, this would be the two that I would recommend: Python or C. If you want to know more about, how computers work, how memory works inside of a computer, and all that kind of stuff, then I highly recommend C. It's the first language that I learned and my favorite. So that's the one that I would recommend to you. Especially because if you start programming in this language, then go into another language like, say, MATLAB, for example, or Python, Java, whatever, it's gonna be way easier than if you start with Python and then move to another language. I mean, you learn C, but like the very basics of it, I forgot like 90% of it. Well, then maybe in that case, you should maybe go back to C. Because maybe once you start going through the basics, you might remember some of them. And I think actually fuck Python. I think you should start with C, no matter what. Especially if you do electrical engineering, which you might be more interested in how a computer works in terms of like the low level workings of a computer. I might be wrong, but I don't know. Okay, so now I have to assert. What if I have a int? Let's say this is null. Nope. Okay, so can I say a file pointer? A file called pointer. Okay, so I can say this. Then when I have to say assert not null shit pointer. No. I am also learning C as my first language. Can you recommend some source to learn? I am currently reading the C programming language book. Rubbish. A good source. Damn, that's a very good question. I honestly I learned it in college, so I couldn't really tell you anything. But I think what you said, the C programming book, is a really good way to start programming. Or sorry, to start learning C. That's what I think is the best way. Then Akwek. Watching a really good Beam user is very satisfying, to be honest. Thank you, bro. I don't consider myself a good Beam user, but thank you. So what kind of project are you doing, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the reason why I'm streaming, so that you can see what I'm doing. This is a testing library in C. So, I did a project in Java a few months ago, and we had to use this library, which is used for unit test, which is used to test very individual parts of the project. So for example, in this case, I have a function which is simply returns A and B. So if I want to test the behavior of that project, of that function, then I have this thing that I did in here, which is I want to try my function, and I want to see if the expected result of 4 is going to be equal to my function of adding two numbers with parameters 2 and 2. This is a very simple example, but you do have to make sure that your program runs in the way that it's intended to. So that's what you have to do. So yeah, I'm doing this. So basically, this library, which is done in Java, I am trying to do the same thing in C. Which is basically for testing different parts of programs and all that kind of stuff. So just for practice, or there is a benefit of using C? honestly, just for practice, I don't think there's any benefit of using C in this program or in this project. But since I'm most interested in C and C++ and the lower level languages, I just wanted to use C for this. But yeah, honestly, I don't think there's any benefit of using C in this kind of projects. Okay, so assert not no. So how can I do this? What can be known in C? Come on, mirror. What can be known in C? Should I learn C? I only know web languages and Python. I mean, it depends. Are you interested in like computers, in how they work and all that kind of stuff? I was thinking of learning Rust to start doing system programs. No. Do not start with Rust. If that's what you want to do, then go with C first. Rust is very complicated and very like weird in the way that it works. So I would recommend first starting with C, and then maybe once you have like C kind of mastered down, you can move into Rust. But yeah, Rust is not a beginner friendly language, that's for sure. But hey, if you want to try it out, then feel free to do so. C null is an alias for void 0 that is appointed to the data at the memory address 0. What data types can be null? All data types include a null value. Can be set to null. Damn. Yeah, so I talked to some friends programming, and they always complain about memory stuff with C, but I don't understand it. So, I mean, yeah, it is probably the biggest problem, which is C gives you this freedom in terms of how you use your memory, but by giving you that freedom, it also gives you the opportunity, I guess, or chance of completely fucking up your memory and accessing places that you do not have to access. And that causes a lot of different errors and frustrations, but I think as long as you keep in mind like the way that C works and like the fundamental parts of it, I think you should be good. Of course you're gonna run into problems, but just like with every other language, I don't think that should be a reason not to learn C, I've had a lot of people tell me that C isn't a good language anymore. Is this true? I think that is completely false. I think C is still a really good language. I think it's still, I don't think it's still very used. Pretty much every single operative system uses C in like 99% of the code. Like Linux, Windows, Mac OS, Android, all those different OS use C. A lot of like IoT devices, like for example, I don't know, like your fridge that connects to the internet or stuff like that, they also use C. Very like critical systems that need to be really fast and really performant and need to be very memory efficient are also using C. So I don't think it is a bad language at all. A lot of the criticism that C gets, it's because of what Joyce said, like you can run into like memory problems and that kind of stuff, but I think it's a great language. It's simple, like the syntax itself, it's very simple. I know the QMK. What is that? QMK is a keyboard firmware. Okay. Oh yeah, it does use C. Your what is it called? Your Wi-Fi router. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, that also uses C. Your I don't know, your TV uses C. Your phone uses C. Your monitor probably uses C as well. Like everything uses C. Everything is built on top of C. Like C is literally the foundation of today's world, pretty much. Cannot escape the C. You cannot. So that's why you have to learn it, you know. I don't make the rules. But anyways, yeah, I got distracted. Shit, how can I do this? Assert not no JUnit. Assert no should be used, or assert dot no. That Google icon is search bar look bar. Wait, what do you mean? This one? This icon right here? Or which one? Sorry for distracting you. Don't worry, bro. You know, if I want to know the distractions, I wouldn't be streaming. So you know, I want you to you know, ask questions, talk to me. That's pretty much what I want. You know, that's why I'm streaming. Oh yeah, that's fair. Why does it look bad? I mean, it's just what I use for search engine. Should I use something else? Like maybe DuckDuckGo? What should it be? So yeah, I want to know what parameters can you take, buddy? Okay, give me a minute. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. I tried DuckDuckGo at one point, but I never got used to it. But do you mean DuckDuckGo as a search engine or the web browser? So I still use Google. I mean, I would still use Google Chrome if it wasn't because it's all fucked up in Fedora. I don't know. Search engine. Like, I don't know why when I'm watching like a YouTube video. Okay, let me mute this. But I don't know, like maybe it works now correctly, but it like glitches into it. They have a browser? Yeah. I think they do in Windows. Maybe not in Linux. Do you often solve code problems online, and has it helped? What platform do you use? I use CodeWars occasionally. Not really that often, but I do code forces from time to time. That's the one that I use. But yeah, I'm not really good at it. It's a competitive programming page. And then you can go in here, problem set, and then you have here like hundreds of thousands of problems. And then you can search for difficulty, and then boom. Here are the easier ones. They don't support Linux, but they have everything else. That's too bad, honestly. Like always, LOL. Yeah, that's too bad. I would be using one. I mean, I would be using that one if they actually supported Linux, but they don't. The Go browser. Wait, browser Linux. Sadly, that's the pain of using Linux, buddy. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna leave now. It's like almost 2 p.m. I think I'm gonna go and have lunch. I might be back later. I don't know. But yeah, how long has this been? Almost an hour. I think that's pretty damn good. Yeah, thank you for stopping by, putting your questions, your I don't know, just talking to me. Really appreciate it. Have a nice lunch. You too, if you have lunch. I don't know, like if you're close to having lunch. I don't know. But yeah. Thank you guys, and I will be seeing you tomorrow.